Black folk always put some pressure on you. And blame it on the white man. You're doing it to yourselves. Put this pressure on you. Luke 23:46 says, and Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. This passage is interesting because some scholars suggest that during this time of the Roman Empire, that Caesar set up the empire in such a family structure. Not so much in the intimate family that we think of here in Western culture, but in a more dominant power structure. And so in that time, the father was seen as someone who had all of the commands. The father was seen as someone who left the inheritance to their families. The father was someone seen as that the husband had all the power over the wife. Now, that wasn't black women in that time. But I'm just saying that's how it was. That's just how it was now. I'm not saying, I don't know if it was black women. That would have been a different story. But the father was seen as the person that was the head of the structure. Now, Caesar set up the Roman Empire in such a way that he could be seen as the father. He didn't care so much about the children, the citizens, so to say, but he just wanted to make it known that if you cross me, I will not stand for it. And so, in other words, when Jesus was born, him being born in a manger was a direct message of saying, my life is not about submitting to Father Caesar. In other words, Jesus was born in a manger. Now, I know we see these mangers around Christmas time that comes with the hay and all of these different things, but he was born in a feeding trough. That's what a manger was, a feeding trough. And it wasn't hay, it was stone. And so Jesus born was placed in stone that animals ate out of. He wasn't born like Caesar in the Hilton. He wasn't born like Caesar in the Marriott, in the Four Seasons Hotel. Rather, Jesus is making a statement that my kingdom is not of this world, and so that the system that will be in place, my life, my actions, and my teachings will not represent Father Caesar. So many people tried to come against Father Caesar. He was a tough ruler. The system that he set up was one that oppressed the poor, excluded the sick, disregarded women, diminished the value of children, and kept the rich in power. Does that sound familiar? And anyone who opposed this power posed a threat to the existence of the very system that Father Caesar had set in place. And he wastes no time killing anybody who opposed him. This is part of the reason why you get a decree to kill all the male children when Jesus was a child. Anyone that was seen as a king, as a savior, as a deliverer was instantly ordered to be killed. But unlike most kings, his whole life, Jesus had lived in direct opposition to the system that Father Caesar had set in place. And so much that when the disciples asked him how to pray, he started with, Our Father, which is in heaven. Even in prayer, Jesus is suggesting that we commit our spirit to Father God and not Father Caesar. Because of his power, many people lived in fear because of Father Caesar, but Jesus, through his teachings and his actions, didn't play by the rules. He was supposed to be the oppression of the poor. He was supposed to support the oppression of the poor. But he said, blessed are the poor. He was supposed to disregard children as not valuable, but he said, suffer children to come to me and forbid them not. He was supposed to support exploitation for Father Caesar's kingdom, but instead he laid the foundation for Father God's kingdom and let it be known that in God's kingdom, everyone is welcome. Here it is, Jesus committed his spirit to God, no matter the circumstances, no matter the situations. When the majesty that came with performing miracles promoted him to popularity and prestige, he still found time to give and commit his spirit to God. When the mission of breaking barriers and preaching the gospel to the outcast and the rejected was upon him, he still committed his spirit to Father God. When Jesus was among the best of them, his spirit was committed to Father God. When he was among the least of them, his spirit was still committed to Father God. When he was called master and teacher, his spirit was still committed to Father God. Even when he was called a devil, his spirit was still committed to Father God. When he had no place to lay his head, his spirit was still committed to Father God. If I could sum it all up, I would say through the good and through the bad, his spirit was still committed to Father God. Isn't that life's greatest challenge? Can we stay committed to Father God and not Father Caesar? Adam and Eve tried to stay committed to Father God, but they tasted of the fruit of On's green leaf. Noah tried to stay committed, but he had too many Bud Lights. Abraham tried to stay committed, but he messed around and got his side piece pregnant. Moses tried to be committed, but he was figuring out how to get away with murder. Joseph tried to be committed, but him and his family was having a family feud. David tried to be committed, but he got caught in a scandal with Bathsheba. Solomon tried to be committed, but he spent too much time in bed, bath, and beyond. Samson tried to be committed, but he couldn't resist Popeye's two-piece legs and thighs the life last year. Judas tried to be committed, but the price was just right. Peter tried to be committed, but he had a fight and a cussing problem like some of us do. That's okay, but we're going to make it anyway. Our ministers here in Morning View may be holy now, but there was a time you wasn't so committed. Our deacons may be all manly and husky looking now, but there was a time when the ladies had you wrapped up too. Morning View, you may look all holy and all sanctified, but there was a time the dress wasn't so long and the suits wasn't so loose. You didn't give your spirit to God your whole life too. Our deacons tried to be committed, but at some point or another, we all have given our spirits to another father. But Christ managed to keep his spirit to Father God through good and through bad, in childhood and adulthood, through ups and through downs. His spirit stayed committed to the Father. And that's all I came to tell somebody. In past times, I gave my spirit to my mother, but found out there was only so much she could do. I couldn't give my spirit to my father because he ran out on me. I tried to give my spirit to my brothers and my sisters, but they had their own problems. I tried to give my spirit to the ladies, but they broke my heart, my aching, breaking heart. I tried to give my spirit to weed, but it was only so high I could go. I've had some good days, and I've had some bad days. But thank God I've given my spirit to Father God. Father Caesar didn't treat me so right. There were some days I didn't wake up right. Father Caesar didn't give me what I deserved. But when I gave my spirit to Father God, I've had good days and I've had bad days. But I still won't complain. William Murphy said, I vow to praise you through the good and through the bad. Why? Because I've given my spirit to Father God. When you give your spirit to Father God, it doesn't delete the bad days. It gives you strength to get through the bad days. David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I thank God I gave my spirit to Father God. I don't have baby mama trauma. I thank God I gave my spirit to Father God. I ain't no child support. I'm not knocking anybody on it, but I thank God I gave it to him just in time to keep going and living a great life. If you give your spirit to Father God, take it out of Father Caesar's hand. Give it to Father God. Here's the trip part about it. Right after that, Now I'm going to show you how black folks do. Right after that, the scriptures say, now when the centurion saw what had happened, all right, he began praising God. Saying, certainly, this was an innocent man. Now, that sounds good on the surface. But why you gotta wait till I get all slung up and suffering and die before you see I'm innocent in the first place? All right now. Why your children don't want to do right until you got cancer and they the reason you got it? You got it. Hair falling out and they the reason it's falling out. Now you're on your deathbed. Now they say, Mama, I'm going to do right. Ninja, if you had a deal right from the jump, maybe I'd still be going on. The centurion finally saw it while he's on the cross. He couldn't see it through the miracles. All Jesus' whole life, his spirit was committed to God, and he didn't see his innocence until the suffering moment. And then it says, all the crowds who came together for this spectacle, when they observed what happened, began to return, beating their breasts. And all his acquaintances and the women who accompanied him from Galilee were standing at a distance. Now, when he was performing miracles, as long as the good came with committing your spirit to Father God, everybody want to be around you. All right now. But when the problems and the suffering come, people back out on you. All right. And they look at you from a distance. Where's the help when I'm going through tough times? It's the same spirit. I don't need you when I got $100,000 in the bank. I need you when I'm 5 months behind on my cable bill. That's when I need you. Jesus needed them on the cross, and they backed out on them. That's why it's important to give your spirit to Father God. Because people will back out on you. Friends will back out on you. Bill collectors only call you for one thing. But if you give your spirit to God, God will never back out on you. Through good and through the bad. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.